Please know that I'm going to share with you a lot of resources today. These are things that I personally use and I utilize in my business that works. And I'm sharing with you experience to help open your mind to really what some possibilities are that you can immediately implement into your business. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so my name is Christina Griffin. I am a MAPS coach. I am also a team leader of a large expansion team. We're in 8 different Keller Williams market centers in Tampa, Florida, Orlando area. So kind of that middle area. Personally, I've sold over 4,000 investment properties, several thousand bank foreclosures, 500 plus short sales. And I'd say my niche is really truly out of the box techniques that will set you apart, that is going to allow you to learn how to create leads, create opportunity, and really be able to help you in your business. I'm not going to share a lot about my personal business. However, what I would tell you is everything that I'm sharing with you today are things that you can immediately go and implement into your business that I've done in my business as well. So I am a coach. I'm personally selling 100 plus homes a year. Our team is over 400 homes a year. So the things that I coach and teach are things that we do on a consistent basis in our business. Now, I am going to share with you a ton of actionable items. If you want to hear more, go to the MAPS Coaching Facebook page. I have a group launch for my upcoming course in that group launch is in just a few weeks. It's short sales and foreclosures. We're not just teaching you about short sales and foreclosures. It's everything that we're going over today, diving deeper, learning from hundreds of different ways to find property, probate, divorce, working with investors, being an REO agent, short sales, investors, and everything in between. So the whole entire distressed industry, and really things that you can do to learn how to create the leads. Gary Keller said a few years ago in a mastermind, those that create the leads control the market. So learn how to create the leads and opportunity, and that's what I teach you to do. Okay, so golden letter concept, the whole golden letter concept that you have heard, and this is really in summary of what it is. It is reaching out to people, and I'm going to show you some targeted ways to do that, but it's from your database to the people in your neighborhood, to people you prospect for, and basically just say, what is your magic number? Would you be willing to sell your house to my buyer? That is what I call the golden text message. Now, I'm going to show you some specific letters and really truly how to do this in a really big way. I do have some scripts as well that I'm going to share with you, but I'm going to go ahead and dive into the actual golden letter so you can see what everybody's talking about. But first and foremost, we're going to start on a getting back to basics prospecting. Okay, I'm going to share some of these links with you, but many of you have seen in the Pivot Shift page, if you've been on that, they talk a lot about golden letters. And really, truly, the whole concept around a golden letter is sending a letter that someone is going to open the letter that comes in the mail. This is something I personally have been using for a really long time. Many of you may have seen these or you use them already. So 200 pack of envelopes, neon bright for $15.99. Well, Christina, why in the heck do I need neon bright envelopes? The whole point is you're mailing a letter to somebody with the intent that you want them to open the letter. You don't want them to physically throw the letter in the mail or they think it's just advertisement. That's why you do the golden letter in a bright envelope or a colored envelope, or you send it in some type of, one of my favorites is send out cards. There's also AM cards. and you send it out through a way that's going to show them that you're a little different, but it's going to have them physically open the letter. Now, I personally love door to door. We have a full-time runner, and that ROI and return on investment is probably higher than anything we do. Now, I'm going to give you an example. This is called it's a coupon bag. For 1,000 of them, it's $27.76. So as you can see, that is just a simple bag. Many of you have probably gotten advertisements that have been put on your own door in a coupon bag. I'm showing you simple things that no matter what your budget is, you can execute on a high level. $27.76 for 1,000. Get 500 sheets of Astro Bright paper for $16.80, or buy it at your local office supply store. Print these flyers at your market center. Again, if you're trying to keep budget and keep it to a lower cost, put them in a coupon bag, and I'm going to show you how to target this information. So remember, the whole golden letter concept is, would you be willing to sell your house to my buyer? It's a matter of just getting out there and being consistent and putting some type of a flyer on their door, sending a letter in the mail, a text message, or having that circle prospecting conversation. Even if you are doing a door hanger with that message and your information, make sure you have a call to action on that letter. And that call to action on that letter is going to get them to physically pick up the phone and call you. Now, I'm going to be sharing these examples of letters with you, but also make sure to put a disclaimer on the bottom of the letter to let them know that this is not a solicitation. If their property is already listed with another agent, that and I don't have this on this letter because it's actually on our letterhead when we print it out. But it's if your house is already listed, please know that this is not a solicitation for your listing. It's super important to do that, just to make sure that you are not doing anything unethical. So this is an example on this particular letter. If your home is presently listed with another realtor, please do not consider this to be a solicitation. Well, many of you may ask, Christina, why the heck would you put that on a letter? Wouldn't you know if it's listed? Well, keep in mind that realtor could have just executed that listing agreement. Maybe the sign is not in the yard, or maybe when you pulled the data, it could be timing. So again, it's important to do that. Now, guys, the concept around a golden letter, it's touches. So letter, text, or picking up the phone. Now I'm going to show you an example of what I mean and how I want you to think about doing this when it comes to your prospecting. Now, some of you are going to pick up the phone, that you're a beast on the phone and that's what you love to do. And that's great. So you're going to use this script when you're calling a neighborhood. Many of you may not be getting a very high answer rate right now on the phone. So that's where I highly recommend to get out of your house and go door to door. I'm a proponent of ding dong ditch. When you're out there, you do not have to knock on the door if you don't feel comfortable. It's the act of actually putting something on the door for them to call you, or you send out a letter. And please know, depending on whatever your budget is, you can scale this up or scale this down. I have people that they'll do part of their prospecting and they'll send out 20 letters a day. And then I have teams that I work with that they will send out thousands at the beginning of the month. So again, it depends on what your budget is. There are many different websites that you can upload a letter and they will automatically send it out for you. One of the websites that I love, it's called yellowletters.com. And you can actually upload through yellowletters.com your letter, and it will send out the letter, and it looks like somebody hand wrote the letter. So I highly recommend, if you want to know what I'm talking about, go to this site. They'll even mail you an example, but that's in essence what it looks like. It is a letter that comes to you. It looks handwritten. Many investors have been doing this for years, and it's a concept to get them to basically open the door, open the envelope. And again, you can pick a different type of envelope through this site. And this is what I call the easy button. You're going to upload a list. They're going to send it out for you. It's part of your prospecting. You leave it and forget it. Now, we all need to understand that we need to have a return on our investment. And what I mean by that is you need to have trackable and measurable ways to understand that if I'm going to mail out 1,000 letters, I know how many people called. So whether it's Google numbers or an answering service that answers that number, as soon as it calls in a dedicated phone number for that mailing campaign, I highly recommend it, because you're going to want to know at the end of maybe your 12-week quarter. And keep in mind, we're getting ready in just a few days to be in quarter 4. You're going to want to know what actions you're doing are a direct result of sales that are happening in your business. Okay. So I'm going to show you some things after I share with you just some text around what this golden letter concept is, on things you can do and implement into your business right away. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to share with you. And keep in mind, this does not need to be your listing. This could be anybody's listing in your office, or a colleague, or just in general, if you have a client looking in a certain neighborhood. So my favorite one to put on a flyer or a door hanger or just a simple letter is, would you be interested in selling your home to a client of mine? Now, you do not need to actually add the address if you're doing hundreds of them. When you add the address and you understand how to mail merge and drop the address in, yes, it does look more targeted towards them. But if you want to send out hundreds or thousands on the door or in the mail, it's good to keep it generic, but make sure that you have a good call to action. So this is just a simple one for you guys to do. Now, many of you still have areas that are having inventory issues. So this is where you need to be proactive. And when you have clients that are looking for a certain type of property, very, very important, don't wait for a house to get listed. Go out and do prospecting directly to the area your client wants that property in. If it's a buyer that wants a 3-bedroom house in X neighborhood, it could be 200 doors. That may cost you $200 to send out a letter. It could be 4 hours of your time, or paying a runner to put something on the door and then picking up the phone. So it's a balance, but make sure to start to become hunters and look for properties for your clients. Okay, here's a good example of a script around another option. So we just sold your neighbor's home and you put the address. There were 15 showings, which means there are 14 buyers still looking in your neighborhood. Would you be interested in selling your home? Now, keep in mind, this does not need to be your listing. It could be a house in your neighborhood just sold. There were multiple showings, 15 plus buyers still looking. The part that you need to understand is the consistency around it. Now, you may be here and you may decide, you know what, Christina, I don't have any buyers. I'm going to show you how to find those buyers. Now, one action item that I want all of you to do if you do not have a strong database, we need to nurture the database that we have. Now, our database, if you don't have in your CRM, you don't have contact phone numbers, addresses, birthday information, things that you do to love on the people that you know. This is actually an export I did today. I've used this app for quite some time, but this is an export I did today on my own phone. And yes, I have 4,481 contacts in my address book. That is your first and foremost touch to be able to create income right now. Download this app. It's free. It's called COVVE. It allows you to export everybody in your address book on your phone into a CSV file, an Excel file that can be uploaded into your CRM, and you can start loving on and touching base with the people in your phone, organizing them and getting that contact information from them. My first step, I highly recommend every one of you to do is once you do that, if you have not done this, do this. This is a great way to prospect right now. It's the 29th of September. That means we have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas. So the first touch is, hey, it's Christina Griffin. I haven't talked to you in a while. Would you mind texting me your most up-to-date mailing address? I would love to send you a card for the holidays. I hope you and your family are doing well. Just a simple touch to them. This is the timing to do so. Now, when you do that, whether it's a send out card or you're mailing them a card, keep in mind, you don't need to ask for business on that card, but on the back is where it could be your contact info. It could be a copy of your business card, but just being authentic and sending that Christmas card out and touching base with them like that first is something you guys can all do. And then in a week or two, or once you've actually organized their address and contact information, that's where you start reaching out to them. It could be, hey, I know that you own a home. I have clients that are looking, and then you can send that magic text message out. Keep in mind the forbearances just lifted, the moratoriums. Foreclosures and notice of defaults across the country are up over 20% right now. So now is the time that people need our help. Now I'm going to show you a different way to kind of look at things. And I want you to really imagine how you can use this letter or the coupon bag or however you would like based upon your budget to really hit your direct neighborhood if you have not done this. So this is just an app that I've used called Road Warrior. There's another one called Circuit Route Planner. And this is what I want you to imagine. And I'm going to show you how to pull the data. And on my course, I show you how to execute and pull this data on a high level. And don't worry, I'm going to drop a link where you're going to have a Google link to be able to have all these letters and all of the links that we're going over today. Now, this is just a way I want you to think about being able to use this golden letter. Now, this is a routing app. Many of you are on the phone, you're outbound prospecting for expireds, and your contact rate, it has fallen. Think about the ones that are on the do not call. You're not allowed to call them, but you can mail or you can go door to door. So how many people during your 2-hour time block for calling could you actually go to their door, put a call to action on their door, so when they get home from work, you're the first thing that they see? Or you have a runner do that, or one of your new team members on your team do that. So you can see here, this is 56 stops just on this app display, and it shows 5 hours and 36 minutes. Now, obviously, you can do it within a shorter time period, but during that 2-hour time block that you have for prospecting, you can easily hit 20 doors and put that call to action around that direct where you live and things to that nature. Now, I live in Tampa, but I'm going to pull up, this is a site I use, and it's a great site. It's called PropStream. It's free for 7 days. I'm going to pull up Orlando just because it's not my direct area, but I'm just going to pull up Orlando. All of us us know what Orlando is. And I want you to start imagining, and this site goes nationwide. So it's for 7 days for free. Highly recommend it, or utilize your multiple listing. Many of you have Realist, you have CoreLogic, you have other sites and systems in your area. I do teach in my course how to utilize and manage all these different platforms to help you start to think differently. Now, I'm just going to scroll into this random neighborhood. I don't know the neighborhood, but I'm going to just show you there is data at your fingertips that most of you do not know is available. And I want you to start to think about your direct neighborhood and where you live. If you do not know that the neighbor across the street from you, maybe they're in pre-foreclosure. There's 1,426 in Orlando alone. Maybe you don't know that they're going through a divorce. There's 1,055 in Orlando. Bankruptcy is 965 in Orlando. Pre-probate, 798. Maybe we're going to look at properties that have liens on them and they are absentee owners, where they are out of state, out of country, and local. Because as you know, there is a massive amount of people that did not pay their rent. So there's a lot of landlords that are in it. They're having a hard time right now. That's 315. You can mail every absentee owner, if you lived in Orlando, that has liens on their properties, and ask them if they'd be willing to sell their property. Heck, there's 368 absentee owners that are in pre-foreclosure. So there's data at your fingertips that a lot of us as agents, we don't even know is available. So what I want you to imagine when you're using this golden letter concept, I want you to think maybe it's your direct neighborhood. And instead of sending out maybe 10,000, maybe it's a big neighborhood, or 1,000, you're going to learn how to compile this data into what I call is a hot list. All the different key points and key data points. It could be HOA lien, tax lien, IRS, divorce, probate, all the different things I showed you, and expired listings that haven't been relisted. And instead of maybe doing 1,000 in one neighborhood, it may narrow it down to 100. That's highly targeted potential people that could be willing to sell their home. I show you guys how to do that. Now, if you have not hit your direct neighborhood and done a simple golden letter, or your street, how many of you are seeing houses come up for sale that you're not the one listing them? If you just every week you looked at this data, or every week you just went and maybe took a different street in your neighborhood and you did 20 or 30 homes every week, or mailed out letters, that's going to create opportunity for you. Now, something I want to show you, many of you may say, you know what, Christina, I do not have a investor, or I don't have a buyer. Well, when you have the right data at your fingertips, guess what? I'm going to show you how to create those buyers. Now, I used Orlando for a reason, because Orlando has what's called hedge funds and institutional clients that are buying hundreds of thousands of properties. So I'm going to go here, and it shows ownership info, and I'm going to put 10,000. So there are absentee owners in Orlando, Florida. There's 3,388 homes that are owned by an ownership group that owns more than 10,000 properties nationwide. Now, you guys, there's a lot of resources. There's a lot of things at your fingertips that us as agents do not even know is available. It could be your MLS system. Now, it could be, and I'm just going to use, actually, somebody give me, let's just pop a zip code into the chat, and I'm going to just show you how simple things are. Someone give me your zip code. Okay, 20817. Okay, because there's a lot of zip codes popping up. So 20817. Not sure where that is, but I'm going to pull up right now 20817. All right. So there's actually 2 ownership groups that own more than 10,000 homes. But the reason why I want to do it is I wanted to show you that there's a really simple way to just find investors and find buyers. Now I'm going to go to here and I'm going to change it to single family. Okay. Single family. So in that zip code, there's 46 ownership groups that own more than 100 homes. So what I want to tell you is, if you don't have a buyer in a direct neighborhood, you live in a direct neighborhood, you want to go out there and you want to put flyers out, you want to pick up the phone, you want to call, and you want to use the whole golden letter concept to be able to create opportunity for your team, your real estate company. There are simple things you can do. So those 46 people, again, this is just one system I use. This is called PropStream. You can use your tax records, your public records to filter out who owns properties. And all you do is you pick up the phone and you call them, you send them a letter or a card, and you just say, I specialize in finding properties for real estate investors, and I want to know if you're still looking at buying. And guess what? Many of those buyers may say, you know what, I'm not looking at buying, but I have 100 homes I own in your area. Would you have anyone that may be interested in buying some of my houses? So I want you guys to think bigger, start to become a hunter and really look for these opportunities. Now I'm going to go ahead and post the link in the Facebook group, not the Facebook group, sorry. I'm going to post the link in the chat just so you guys can have it. And again, it's going to give you a lot of golden letters. It's going to give you all of the resource links that I shared for you. And become a hunter. Learn how to open your mind to the possibilities. And this is something that I teach on a high level with my course. It's only $295 and it's for 3 months. And after each class, I do Q&A and we have a Facebook group. So I hope you guys got value out of this today. You're going to, and give me just a minute. I am going to add a few of the links in what I uploaded. There's already letters. Make sure whatever source you use that skip traces data also scrubs the do not call. I personally use, I use Redx because that will allow you to import list from any source and it refreshes the do not call each and every day. So that is what I use. Canada, because Canada has different rules around mailings and data, some of the sites that I posted do work with Canada. Just make sure, because I know when you're mailing, you got to mail to like a direct neighborhood. It's a little bit different in Canada, but I can absolutely connect with you on that. Guys, dream big. Know that there's a lot of people that need our help, and make sure to plan your week. Look at your direct neighborhood. Look at how long it will take you to go put one of these flyers that are super inexpensive. Talk to your market center. Say, I want to print 500 flyers, or just a simple letter. How much will it cost? And you can really get this down to very minimal. On your way to the office, drop the letters. Stop saying, I cannot connect with expireds. Go to their door, mail a letter, and know that the data is so powerful. So the class starts in a few weeks. Don't worry about it going through the holidays, because you guys get everything, the very last class after 12 weeks. I teach you from notice of default to the very last class is how to become an REO agent and prospect for that data and everything in between. So again, guys, I hope you got a ton of value. Sorry we ran out of time, and I'm excited for you guys to join us, and you're going to get a lot of resources. Give me about 5 minutes. I'm going to load some more resources in that link, and I hope to see you in my class, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.